Hi songwriters, it's Frances back with some tips for your songwriting journey today. It's May 31st, 2023. Why does that matter? Well, because today it was 22 years ago that my father passed away around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was 35 years old. And the following year, I wrote a song for him, dedicated to him in the memory of him, because I really missed him. And 22 years later, I still miss him. So I thought today I would just share with you, grief is part of what we go through in life. And all of our experiences contribute to your songwriting, one way or another. For me, I've found that songwriting actually helps me process life. So writing a song for my dad was a natural way for me to process his death. So today I just want to take a little side note and encourage you, if you've lost someone, you're not alone when you experience grief years later. It shows up in the strangest kind of ways. And so I've created this little acronym for grief. G, gentle. Be gentle on yourself. If you have moments of just feeling like you just still want to unravel because you really miss the person you love and they're gone, be gentle with your heart and realize it's okay to grieve. It's okay to cry. In fact, it's good to do it. And through the decades of your life, you will still have moments of grief. It's normal. Be gentle. R, remember your loved one. That's a beautiful thing about songwriting. Every time I play or hear the song I wrote, Missing You, I remember my dad. And it's just a beautiful way to give tribute to him and to keep the memories alive. Remember the person you loved and allow yourself to remember. GRI, intake. Take in photos or locations, or go to a restaurant that your loved one loved, or have an ice cream bar. My dad loved Klondike ice cream bars, so when I have one, I think of him. In fact, in my song Missing You, I was going to include the phrase, I love your smile, something about the curve of your smile when we offer you a cookie or an ice cream bar. My producer didn't think that line seemed right, the ice cream bar, so we took it out. But I know that in the original lyric, I had written that my dad loved ice cream bars. So I might have some ice cream today in memory of my dad. Intake, take in something that reminds you in a precious way of your loved one. GRIE, embrace the grief. I know that we try to stuff. In fact, that's what I did for the first half of my life. I had lost 2 siblings, then I lost my father, I had lost other family members. I was used to stuffing my grief because it's uncomfortable and you feel stupid crying when you're buying a loaf of bread in the store and suddenly you're struck with tears and you're like, why are you crying? Because the loaf of bread reminds me of my loved one, whatever. That's the way grief is. It just pops up at the strangest times, years after we've lost a loved one. So embrace it. And if you're in a place where you can just let the tears roll, just let the tears roll. It's a healthy thing. And then lastly, F, fun, funny. What are some funny memories you have of your loved one? My husband and I went out for breakfast this morning and we were talking about the fact that today is the anniversary of my father's death. And I said, what is one of your funniest memories of Daddy? And he shared a story that we all know and love. A few stories we started talking about and we laughed. And there's something about humor that helps us cope with life. So in that moment, I enjoyed some funny memories of my dad. Also remembering the Klondike bars that he loves. So there you go. Be gentle with yourself. Remember your loved one. Intake things that remind you of them. Embrace the grief. It's okay. And fun. Remember some fun moments with your loved one and maybe even share them with a friend, a coworker, or spouse, or siblings. and enjoy the memory together. Next week, I hope to share with you a fun and wonderful piece of information about the song Missing You. I asked my producer if he would share the news with you. So I'm waiting for a video from Eric to share with you the great news about Missing You. There you have it. That's my thoughts for songwriting today from the way I see it. Subscribe to the channel, share with a friend, and I'll talk to you next week.